Hey everyone, this is Sean Verbrugge from Wonderland Resort, currently in windy Myrtle Beach. But the topic of today's video is basically the development timeline, and I'm going to show you. We're going to jump right into screen share, and I'm going to show you a whole lot of what we developed in order to get to where we are now. So take a step back and maybe just show you. So in order to really come up with a budget for this project, what we had to do, it's tough to budget a project where you don't have land. So that's where we were at probably about a year and a half ago, maybe almost 2 years ago now. So I found this piece of property that looked like this. This is basically just the topo of the piece of property that was, I think, around 30 acres or so. It didn't check all the boxes for us, but what it did was it allowed me to create um, this mock-up of, okay, here's what a campground would look like. Sorry, it's really loud with the birds here. Uh, in this piece of property, and this is in Western North Carolina. Just this property is just west of Asheville. Our property is actually east of Asheville. But nonetheless, it was a property that checked some of the boxes, and I wanted to start budgeting. So basically, what I did was said, okay, we've got this much acreage. Let's put in roads. Let's put in some structures. Let's put in this agritourism farm component, the lodge, and so on and so forth. And then from there, we could actually start coming up with budgets for roads, septic, sewer, the structures, the lodge. Now, keep in mind that this plan is like, this would be like the master plan, as if it was fully built out with the event components and the farms and everything like that. And then just to kind of take it one step further, um, somewhere in here, I'll show you some of the renderings that I had done. But basically, what I was trying to get to was at least a rough budget for the project, so I could start working on, you know, the IRR and the financial modeling and everything, but also wanting to work on the let's open this one up real quick. Wanting to work on the investor pitch deck. So had a guy that I found on Fiverr do some, cool renderings of what the place would look like. Let's see here. Yeah, these are just kind of thumbing through. Now, it doesn't look anything like this now. We're actually in development, but it's a different piece of property. And although this is really cool, this is not what it's going to end up looking like, because a lot of things change, and a lot of things change based upon, you know, the piece of property that you get, and the funding and the zoning and the all of the things that are or are not possible. Anyhow, just kind of flying through um, those with you. The next thing I'll show you is our actual site. Now, this was our site on GIS, and the very first rendition of it is what you're looking at now. And this was basically like, okay, we're gonna put some RV sites back here. We've got one type of cabin here, this other in green, and then brown is this other type of cabin. And then this is basically where our roads would go. There's a pond already existing here. and we threw in some amenities into this area. And this was just very basic conceptual. We did it in Photoshop. So I think this is a good place to start, because what we did was we took this, and even if you don't use Photoshop, you could print this out and hand draw it on there. I think that would be another good place to start. But then where we went to was met with Rob Dahl from Find the Line Site Planning. And him and I sit down, kind of like massaged our my first rendition, and then this is kind of what it ended up looking like. Now, again, this is about probably 8 months ago, so it looks different than this now, but it's very close actually. Um, then let's see. Then it kind of went to engineering, and then this is a kind of an overall site plan. This one shows septic. This whole area we found out is where septic had to be. These are our units that we're starting off with. We've got more units here that are clamping structures, and these are hard shell structures here with our bathhouse. So you can kind of start to see where details are done for engineering. And this is basically all this engineering was done to get our soil sedimentation plan permit. For those of you who don't know, if you disturb more than an acre, this is anywhere in the US. If you're disturbing more than an acre of land, then you have to apply for what's called a soil and sedimentation or erosion plan permit. And that's what this is done. So we put in here all of our grading, culverts. The stream crossing culvert right here was actually a big one, even though it's a 35-foot culvert. It's just a couple permits to get that going. And then you end up with, this is kind of our final rendering, where we have utilities put in place. And so